Hi children, welcome to the class. Here, today we are going to discuss about a geography lesson. Okay, in that first I would like to ask you some questions. Okay, first question, where we are living on the earth, right? So in that earth, already in the previous chapters we learned about the domains of the earth. Okay, what are the domains? Do you know? Yes, we have 4 domains of the earth. That is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Right? So in that first one, lithosphere. Lithosphere consists of land. Yes, land, and here we can get different landforms on the earth. Okay? Plains, plateaus, mountains, hills, valleys. Right? Different types of landforms. Okay, that all the landforms consists in the lithosphere. Okay, and next coming to the hydrosphere. Hydrosphere consists of water. Water also very important need for us, means living things. If we don't have water, we can't survive our life, right? So all these are the natural resources. Okay, water also come under the natural resource, and in that water we will get in different lakes, ponds, rivers, canals, seas, right? In different ways we will get, means all these are the water sources. And here water we can get in different stages: liquid water, solid form, and next gas, means water vapor. Okay, liquid means normal water, solid means snow, right? And next coming to gas means water vapor. Okay, so 3 different stages we will get the water, right? And next coming to the atmosphere. Atmosphere means air. That is means all the living things, all we are surrounded by the air blanket surrounded by us. That is called as atmosphere. And next coming to the biosphere. Biosphere consists of living world, all the living things. Birds, animals, trees, plants, human beings, each and everything. Each and every living thing come under the biosphere. Right? So, these are the domains of the earth. Okay. So, in that, today's our topic is air. We are going to discuss about the air. Right? So, air, in what way we will use? Actually, in the atmosphere, all the living things depends on the atmosphere for their survival. Okay, and the first thing, air we need to take breathe. Even human animals also and human beings also. We need to take breathe. Okay, without breath we can't alive, right? So for that reason we need air actually. And here one more thing, already I said atmosphere is air blanket. Okay, the air blanket is surrounded by us, right? So in that way here, that air blanket is protecting us from the sun rays, right? The sun rays means in the if that air blanket is not there surrounded by us, we will alive only on the earth. We will baked by the sun heat. Okay, so that air blanket is protecting us from the sun rays during the day and get frozen from the nights, right? So that is the most important advantage with the air for us. Okay, so like that we are depending on the atmosphere and we are taking breath. Also we need air only, right? So in that air we'll see what are the gases. Here our subtopic is in the air is composition of the atmosphere, right? So composition of the atmosphere means air is already, we know air we are using for inhaling, right? Means in that oxygen is there. That oxygen is most important to us to live. So like that air is the most important factor for us, right? So in that way here the composition of the atmosphere means in the atmosphere air contains so many gases. Okay, it is the mixture of different kinds of gases, right? In that hydrogen, helium, argon, and nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen, different kinds of gases are there. And in that also, nitrogen, oxygen having more percentage, okay, and remaining gases are having less percentage, right? So here we can say 78% of nitrogen we are having in the air, right? Nitrogen is more important factor for us, and whenever we are taking breath, that time we are taking some percentage of nitrogen also we are inhaling into our lungs, and while exhaling we are that nitrogen is coming back into the air, okay. So like that we are also using that nitrogen. Even all the living things will use nitrogen, right? Even plants also use nitrogen, but they cannot take that nitrogen directly, okay. So for that reason, what will happen here, whatever the soil bacteria is there in the soil and some plants roots, right, they will take that nitrogen and they will change the form of that nitrogen so that plants can use, okay. Because nitrogen, plants cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. For that reason all these process will be done, okay. Whatever the bacteria is there in the soil, or otherwise any roots, some plants roots will be there, right, they will take that nitrogen and they will change that form of nitrogen so that plants can use, okay. That is the importance of the nitrogen. And next, coming to oxygen. Oxygen we know already, because oxygen how much important for us, okay. Whenever we are taking breath, oxygen we are taking, right? So oxygen 21% is we are having in the atmosphere, oxygen, okay. So whenever we are inhaling, that time we will take oxygen, and while exhaling we will release the CO2, carbon dioxide, right? So here the same, whatever the quantity we are releasing, we are exhaling the CO2, the same quantity was used by the plants. They are inhaling carbon dioxide and exhaling oxygen, right? So like that here we are balancing each other, plants and living human beings and animals, okay. Whatever the oxygen we are taking inside, and that much carbon dioxide we are releasing outside, okay. The same way plants also, they are inhaling carbon dioxide and exhaling oxygen. So we are balancing the nature, we are balancing the gases in the air, right? So the same way and carbon dioxide very useful to the plants, okay. And while photosynthesis also they will use carbon dioxide, right? So that photosynthesis problem means they will provide their food, they will make their food own. Plants are self-dependent, right? Plants make their food their own, okay. So like that, that is that process is called as photosynthesis. In that photosynthesis process they will use the carbon dioxide, okay. So in that way while preparing their food, means the process of photosynthesis, green plants will take carbon dioxide and they will exhale oxygen, right? So in that way here we are balancing the nature, carbon dioxide and oxygen at the same time, both the gases we are balancing the nature, okay. So if we cut the trees, this balance will disturb. And one more thing, if we are using more uses of the fuels like oil, petrol, right? So for that also this balance will disturb, because that will make so many factories are releasing different gases, right, in the air. And so many factories, so many companies, so many chemical factories, right, they are releasing different types of gases into the air, okay, because they are releasing billions of tons of gases and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, okay. So every year this is increasing more and more, the carbon dioxide levels are increasing. That will also disturb the atmosphere levels, okay. Nature balancing will disturb because of all these things, Okay, children. So this is about the gases, composition of the gases, and along with these gases, we have some little dust particles also in the air. Okay, means we have already, I said, we have different gases: hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, right? Among with all these gases, some small dust particles also will be there. Okay, so children, let me show you some slides. Okay, children, see the slide here. This shows all the domains of the earth. Here we can see hydrosphere, water, lithosphere, earth, and atmosphere, air, and biosphere. Means here biosphere where all the spheres meet: lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. That is called as biosphere, right? We know already about this. And next, coming to the composition of the atmosphere. Already we discussed that composition of the atmosphere. Air is filled with many gases, right? Air is the mixture of many gases. In that, nitrogen is having more percentage, that is 78% of nitrogen, and 21% of oxygen we have, and next 0.03% of carbon dioxide, and 0.93% of argon, and next all other gases will be combinedly 0.04% will be there in the atmosphere, right? This is the composition of the atmosphere, and water vapor also up to 2%. Okay, and here in this, among all with the gases, some dust particle will also be there. Okay, and next, going to the greenhouse effect. Children, here carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the earth. It is therefore called a greenhouse effect. Okay, gas, and without it the effect, earth would have been too cold to live in. However, when its level in the atmosphere increases due to factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained in increase, right? And the temperature of the earth. Okay, and this is called global warming because of the more usage of the fuels, more usage of the vehicles, more usage of the fuels, and more usage of the factories, right? They are releasing different gases in the air. Okay, so because of that, air is means the temperature is increasing day by day. Okay, means the natural balance is disturbing with that. So that is called as global warming. This rise in temperature causes the snow in coldest parts of the world to melt. As a result, the sea level rises, causing floods in the coastal areas. There may be drastic changes in the climate of a place, leading to extinction of some plants and animals in the long run. Okay, so all these causes to the global warming only. Here, children, I want to show a video clipping also about global warming. Okay.
For 2.5 million years, the Earth's climate has fluctuated, cycling from ice ages to warmer periods. But in the last century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast, about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists believe it's human activity that's driving the temperatures up, a process known as global warming. Ever since the Industrial Revolution began, factories, power plants, and eventually cars have burned fossil fuels such as oil and coal, releasing huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases trap heat near the Earth through a naturally occurring process called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect begins with the sun and the energy it radiates to the Earth. The Earth and the atmosphere absorb some of this energy, while the rest is radiated back into space. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. Scientists now believe that the greenhouse effect is being intensified by the extra greenhouse gases that humans have released. Evidence for global warming includes a recent string of very warm years. Scientists report that 1998 was the warmest year in measured history, with 2005 coming in second. Meanwhile, readings taken from ice cores show that the greenhouse gases carbon dioxide and methane have hit their highest levels in the past 420,000 years. Arctic sea ice is also shrinking. According to NASA studies, the extent of Arctic sea ice has declined about 10% in the last 30 years. As long as industrialized nations consume energy and developing countries increase their fossil fuel consumption, the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere will continue to rise. Researchers predict that temperatures will increase about 2 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. What's less certain is what rising temperatures mean for the planet. Some climate models predict subtle changes. Others forecast rising sea levels which could flood coastal areas around the world. Weather patterns could change, making hurricanes more frequent. Severe droughts could become more common in warm areas, and species unable to adapt to the changing conditions would face extinction. Although much remains to be learned about global warming, many organizations advocate cutting greenhouse gas emissions to reduce the impact of global warming. Consumers can help by saving energy around the house, switching to compact fluorescent light bulbs, and driving fewer miles in the car each week. These simple changes may help keep the earth cooler in the future.
Children, see the video, right? So through that video we can understand how the atmosphere is getting overheat and how it causes global warming, and day by day how the temperature is increasing, right? And so here I hope you understand the topic. Once again I will give you recap. Okay, in that here we are discussing about the composition of the atmosphere, means air. Okay, air means here we need air, the basic need of a living thing, right? So air is the basic need for us, because if we want to live we need to breathe, right? So for that reason we need air, and we are inhaling oxygen and exhaling CO2, carbon dioxide. Okay, so here what we discussed, the composition of the atmosphere. In that composition of the atmosphere we said air is the mixture of many gases. Okay, in that we have different gases: hydrogen, helium, argon, and nitrogen, carbon dioxide, right, oxygen. All these gases will be mixed in the atmosphere, and at the same time among with that gases we have some small dust particle also, right? Dust particles also is there in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is the composition of the atmosphere. And different percentages we have. Nitrogen is having more percentage, 78, and oxygen is 21%, right? So like that, and remaining gases will be less percentages, right? And water vapor also there, right? Like this we have different gases in the air, and we are using nitrogen also. Whenever we are inhaling oxygen, that time we are taking some amount of nitrogen also to our lungs, and while exhaling we are releasing it back into the air. Okay, and coming to the plants, they are not able to take directly the gas nitrogen. For that reason, whatever the bacteria in the soil, and next some plants roots also, they will absorb the nitrogen and they will change the form of the nitrogen so that plants can use, right? And coming to oxygen and carbon dioxide also, both plants and animals and human beings, both are balancing the nature. Okay, we are taking inside oxygen, we are inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide, and at the same time plants are inhaling carbon dioxide and exhaling oxygen, right? So that the nature is balancing with the two gases. But and coming to the green plants, if they will prepare their own food. So that process, photosynthesis process, In that process also, the green plants use that carbon dioxide, right? So like this we are balancing the nature. If we cut the trees, the balance will disturb. Okay, not only cutting of the trees. Okay, whatever the factories are releasing so many gases into the air, right? And we are using more fuels, petrol, oil, like that. So because of that also, the atmosphere is getting billions of tons of gases into the carbon dioxide into the air. Okay, so that day by day carbon dioxide levels are increasing in the air and temperature is becoming more heat, right? So that causes the global warming, right children? So we need to decrease the usage of the fuels first, and we should not cut the trees also at the same time, because we are interlinked living things, right? Plants and animals and human beings. If plants are not there, we can't survive properly. Okay, so like that we both are balancing the nature. We need to balance that forever and ever. Okay, we should not disturb the nature anytime, so that we should not cut the trees and we should not use more fuels also, to prevent the global warming. Okay children, we'll meet you in the next module.